You must be careful about the words you use, or the words you allow to be used in your house. Words are things. You must be careful. Careful about calling people out of their names, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance. Don't do that.
It's time to talk about it.
Pull up a chair and take a seat.
We're serving up recipes for life.
With Hampton University's Dr. Richard Mason and Dr. Tamara Williams.
Welcome to the Sunday Brunch.
This is Dr. Tamara Williams.
And this is Dr. Richard Mason. Welcome to the table for another edition of Sunday Brunch with the good doctors.
Yes, indeed.
It is so good to see you.
It is so good, as we say, to be seen
and not viewed.
Exactly. So we are definitely excited to see one another and to be in the room as always.
Yes, and anytime we have an opportunity to get to the table and have a good meal, I'm all ready for it.
We don't miss food. We don't miss food.
Exactly. How was your week?
It's been a busy week, but I think it looks like all the other weeks in our lives. It's just been a busy week. We know that if we're not busy, then something is wrong. Something is happening. So I'm just thankful that the weather has been kind to us and all those kinds of things. So I'm excited to be here. And I'm really excited about the conversation that we're going to have today.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Trauma and tragedy, that's my thing,
I mean, I'm not excited about trauma and tragedy, but I am excited about how we learn as a people to share that trauma and tragedy and to learn from that trauma and tragedy and the different avenues in which we can present that.
Exactly.
So music and songs and
theater.
Oh, yes.
And art.
Yes.
Sometimes, what they say?
Poetry.
Art depicts life, or life depicts art.
The egg and the chicken, I don't know, but either way, we love it.
Hey, scramble it up or fry it, I eat it, so that's what I do.
You're wrong. So wrong. What I love about the arts is it's a way in which we can communicate, and it's a whole language in of itself that you don't have to be from the same place, but you can be in the same room and experience something and have a full conversation about it.
Exactly.
Sometimes you don't even know what you're going through, and you can see somebody depicting that or playing that and give you some type of clarity. So I'm biased.
Yeah.
I love the arts.
Oh, definitely. Because I always say that when you're watching a play or a movie based on your own life experiences, that's what you kind of hone in on sometimes. You're able to pull those things out, I mean, even just being in church, you just think about it. People get different things out of church.
Yeah, some people acting in there.
I never understood why my mother and my grandmother would cry in church. I'm thinking, why are you crying? Give me another piece of candy, though, because grandma always had good candy in her purse.
Indeed.
So. But I just never understood that. But people get different things out of the music as well as the word.
And what I love about art, music, words, all those things is that it's different at different times. So even though you experience it one time, the next time you experience it based on the different things in your life, the things that you've learned since that point, it may look totally different, give you a whole different experience.
Exactly. How many times have you watched a movie and basically will see something totally different?
Every single time I watch it. Every single time I watch it. But then again, we overthink things. We like to analyze things. That's what we do. So that gives me great joy to look at people and why do people do the things that they do. And art gives us a chance to understand more about people because everybody's not comfortable using their words in that way, but they like to be or pretend to be someone else or put on a mask. I like that. Let's talk about what we're talking about today, though.
Okay, all right.
We have an amazing guest with us today. We actually have two guests with us today, but we have an amazing guest that we're going to start off with. I've known her for a little bit. People have known her way longer than I have known her because her work just speaks for itself.
Exactly. And we are fortunate to have her here in this community as well as at Hampton University. So over the years, she's done some amazing things and the amazing work that she has done in this community and for the theater department. You're going to see.
Absolutely. And even my daughter is at a young age participated. So not just the community, but like literally pulling people even outside of the university into her work. So
exactly. Yeah. She's launched many careers. Oscar
and probably
winners.
Saved a few too. Yeah. Absolutely. One thing for sure I can say that she plays for a great team. She is one of my amazing sorors. For sure.
There you go. All right.
Absolute full of fortitude.
There's nothing like that Red Army. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to the table to fix my plate.
As I introduce the guest.
Introduce the guest.
And you know what I want you to bring
I'm
me
going
back.
to bring your biscuit back.
Thank you so much. I like some honey butter bread.
I got you. Always.
Appreciate you.
All
Appreciate
right.
you. Welcome to the table. Absolutely. And for everyone who can't see, to the table is Dr. Karen Ward. Dr. Karen Ward, there are no words really that can fully describe you. People just got to see for themselves and experience. And many people have. So in the arts, I want to start just in the beginning saying welcome first, but then I want to know more about you because, you know, when people see you, you're in the front and you're in the back sometimes. You're many different roles. You're running many different things, but I don't think they know you and what really excites you about the arts. Many people have taken your classes. Many people have taken your classes, your oral comm classes, your theater classes, but they may not know, like, how did you really get into this? How did you know arts was your thing, theater was your thing?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me. I think you guys do such a wonderful job with your shows. I can't wait every week to see who you're going to have on here.
It's your turn.
So I feel so happy to be here, privileged to be here, and especially at this time, because I think we're dealing with so much these days that the arts can help with. How did I get started with this? You all would not believe this story. I would only share this with you and about 600,000 other people who are listening right now.
Yes, thank you.
But I love my Uncle Herman. Okay. So when I was 6 years old, my Uncle Herman, who was similar to a vaudevillian performer, came to live with my grandmother, and he took a liking to me, and because I like to sing and dance and just have crazy times with him. He taught me how to sing and dance like Shirley Temple by watching Shirley Temple movies, believe it or not. And so, once he started teaching me, he's like, you're pretty good at this. This might be something we want to continue doing. So on Sundays, my grandmother would have my aunts and uncles up for dinner. And so my Uncle Herman would put me on the coffee table and have me sing Shirley Temple songs to them. And I didn't know this at the time, but he was passing the hat around to my aunts and uncles.
You got to
starting your first endowment.
Well, needless to say, when my mom found out, she was like, you gonna stop that, Herman. You just stop treating my baby like that, But my Uncle Herman, God rest his soul, he was really an inspiration to me because he taught me what discipline was in the arts and how to look at something and transform it into something that you can do. And because I look nothing like Shirley Temple, do I? But there was something about the way she performed and could pull people in that I liked. So when I kind of pulled that in and started doing it, he knew that I had something that I could share and even perhaps make a living at it. So that's how I got started. And once Uncle Herman did that, then of course my aunts all played for the church. And they were in the choir, and they also played piano for the church. So they were like, "Oh, Karen can sing, and we're gonna put her in the choir."
So your family then promoted your skills even further.
Ever since, yes. So that's how I got started, and never wanted to do anything else. I was actually going to study law.
I know that's right.
I was going to study law. I was all set to go to George Mason to law school, and I was clerking for a judge in Madison at the time. And our last hearing before I was to go off to law school was a lunacy hearing. And after hearing that lunacy hearing, I went home, I told my mom and dad, I said, I know you paid the deposit, I'll pay you back. I know you want me to be a lawyer, but I'll be better. And so I said, I really don't want to go to law school. They were like, are you serious? You're going to law school, But I took the summer off, and then I ended up going on back to school to do theater. And from there, I did more theater and more theater. So that's where I am. That's where I came from.
So never look back.
Never look back.
Never wanted to do anything else, even when you thought you did.
Right.
You sat there. You said that one time. That lunacy hearing. And you said, this is crazy for you.
I said, I cannot live my life like this in a courtroom listening to these things. So, but I do value everybody's profession and what they bring to the world. But I know that you need just as many scientists as you need artists.
Yes.
And as lawyers as you need people saying you're a wonderful lawyer,
Right.
But I just didn't think that was my calling in life, to be an attorney.
Well, I'll tell you this, just knowing what I've seen over the years, this is your passion. I don't know how passionate I can't see you as passionate about the law.
Be a dynamic lawyer.
I can see you putting on a show I can see you putting on a show in the courtroom.
She can outline her points. She can defend her position. And if you ain't right, she can let you know. I can absolutely see that. Part of me definitely. I feel that too. I would love to do that as well. I think you can be good at more than one thing, but just because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Right.
So you could do that, but what you should do was what you were called to do.
But every once in a while, my mom will remind me.
I know she does.
If the show didn't go well, she'll like, didn't I tell you to be a lawyer? Mom, I didn't like my performance. I told you to be a lawyer. Didn't I tell you to be a lawyer? But my mom and my dad supported me in the arts too. And I think that's really important. Like Tam supports her daughter in the arts, taking them to all those rehearsals and staying there with their little snacks and making sure they're taken care of and buy costumes and stuff. Yeah. So as long as you have parents who are supportive of whatever you choose to do, I think you'll do well at it as well.
That's important.
Yeah,
that is very, very important. And I see the support that you receive also pouring over into your students and into the performances and stuff like that you've done over the years. So talk us about some of the things you've done over at HU with the theater program over there.
Oh, I love Hampton, the real HU. I have really been privileged to work with some wonderful students. Some wonderful students. And when I say wonderful, I'm not always talking about the ones who go on and do things in theater or in film or in music or anything.
In general.
Just in general. Passionate students who they come to Hampton and they're like, I know I want to do this, I want to do that, and they need a place to be. And I always say a good place to be is the theater because it's a home. It's like your home away from home.
You can find your people there.
You find your people there. You feel comfortable there, no matter what you look like or what you sound like. In the theater, you're going to be accepted. And I think a lot of times when you're 17 years old, 18 years old, going away from home for the first time, and you need that. You need that. So I think more than anything else, I think in the theater we help students find themselves. Find a home. I've had some students who've gone on to do wonderful things in theater. Some of them are in LA and Atlanta now, doing great things, either in music or in theater. Everything from directing to writing. I encourage them to always have more than one skill. If you're going to direct, also know how to write. If you're going to act, know how to write. Know how to direct, whatever. So always have a backup for your backup, as my grandpa used to say.
That's right.
Have a backup for your backup. Be good at what you are. You'll always have a job.
That's it.
So I do that, and I see them being very successful because of that. And people recognize their diligence and their dedication, and that's why they do well in the field, because they know that when they hire someone who's been trained at Hampton and gone through those the little theater in the cold, in the rain, in the snow, whatever, they know they have the discipline and the stick-to-itiveness to do well. Whether you're carrying coffee as a PA on a film, or you're playing the leading role, or you're designing costumes for Wakanda Forever.
Okay, shout out to Ruth Carter for sure.
Oscar winner. Oscar winner,
She
Ruth Carter.
started right in that costume shop on the second floor of Armstrong Hall Little Theater. In that costume shop, just sewing, designing, but she had a vision, and she had that vision. She was determined to make it come true. So it's so wonderful sometimes looking at the old pictures of her when she was at him. And every once in a while, I'll send one to her and say, "You remember this?" She's like, "Where did you get that? Where did you get that? Send that to me. Send that to me." And really some really good students have gone on. Right now, we have a student, Leon Hendricks. I don't know if you've seen the movie or the series, The Mayor, but he's one of the producers on The Mayor.
Awesome.
And I'm like, you went from Hampton University Little Theater and scripts. He was a double major to LA, co-producing The Mayor on TV. So, I mean, you could do almost anything you want to do once you've gotten that degree. Robbie Reed. Robbie used to act, and now she tells actors that you have the part, because she's a casting director. And who grows up and says, "I want to be a casting director when I grow up." I mean, who does that?
It's being exposed to that that allows you to say, "Hey, I could do that," or "I would do this differently if I casted them."
So Robbie, she had a vision for what things should look like, and when she had a vision of what things should look like on screen, on stage, she started saying, "Well, I'd like to be a part of that avenue of the entertainment business." So there you have it. And like I said, even if you don't end up doing something in the performance area or in the entertainment area, what you learn while you're doing those things in the little theater and in those classes will always help you be better at what you do. So
the history lessons that come along with understanding the characters, the scenery, the background, all of that.
Yeah, and it teaches you things like, if I'm going to do a movie on Africa, like in Wakanda Forever, I'm going to have to do research.
Right.
And I'm going to have to know how to do that research, and then I'll have to do that research too. It's not just knowing how, but actually having to do it. I'm also going to have to be able to be a leader, because I'm going to have about 12 different construction crews under me, sewing and working on those costumes, and so organizing them and keeping them on task is a part of what she does as well. I mean, there's so much that goes into that people don't realize go into doing an award-winning film or a film at all, that it takes a lot of different skill sets to put them together and become successful at it. And I think that's one thing that education does, but I think that's one thing that we do at Hampton really, really well.
Well, you have to own some of that as well, because I think you are the catalyst for probably 90% of the things that happen. I think about how even Sunday Brunch came about. You had the two of us come in with this, was it 100 dresses?
100 dresses,
and
yes.
we were talking to the audience after the show, just processing what they had just heard. And that led from a thought I had to, wow, we could do this together consistently. So that's how Sunday Brunch came about. So our listening audience really didn't know the full story because we hadn't talked about it, but you were the catalyst behind Sunday Brunch. You just didn't know it, but it was based on that interaction at the 100 Dresses show that we had.
That's so good to hear. It's good to hear.
Yes.
So good. And you don't realize sometimes when you're in front of an audience like that, and there were middle school students and high school students, and the subject matter, as a matter of fact, was bullying.
It was indeed.
And you guys came there and you just gave your time and your energy and your knowledge to them about what they had just seen on stage. And I think it helped them synthesize that and take away from that audience experience. Yes, they laugh sometimes, they cry sometimes, the music was great, but what they took away from it as far as what bullying does to people and what the ultimate outcome of bullying could be. I think that was just as important as what they saw on the stage. They see on the stage, that kind of gets their attention. But what you all brought to it is what they take home from that.
It was a great time, and for many of those kids, that's the first time they've ever experienced that form of art, and opening up the possibilities of ways that they could learn to express themselves as well, other forms. They were really excited. So yes, they got to see it, and that's processing and lets them know, okay, you can talk about it too. We can be on the same page, and we can have a dialogue about what we saw. You can be in the same room and have different understanding of what you saw. So
Absolutely.
it was a powerful time. It was a good time.
And the fact that you thought about that was a piece, because when you mentioned, you said, hey, listen, I need you to come and, speak to some kids afterwards.
I think we did it one time, then we kept doing it a couple times.
Exactly. Because I've never experienced that in terms of attending a play and then having a dialogue after with the audience like that. And for that particular subject matter, it worked well. And, of course, the two of us kind of talk all the time and just kind of play well with one another, I guess. I
guess you could call it that.
I sandbox is good.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
But that was an opportunity. And like I said, that was the catalyst, so.
And he came to me about the show, because I'm always talking, doing my own thing, He said, come, I need your help. My thing is, if we can help, if we can assist. And that was the kind of topic that, most people can relate to being bullied, and we felt that we could do something. So I showed up. He said, that was great fun. Yeah. Let's do this again. And so that's kind of how that happened.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
But we need to have more of those conversations so that people don't suffer in silence. And that's what we were talking about, not feeling like you're the only person going through. And art allows you that, even if you're by yourself, to feel like you're not by yourself, as you can see other people going through those situations.
Exactly. Which I would say leads right on into the newest production that you have going on now in the theater. So tell us a little bit about the new production that you're working on, that's in play right now.
I'm so
and it's
excited.
How it's different, because it's not the Hampton Players.
No.
This is something different.
It's an expansion.
Yes.
It's expansion, bigger and better and wider. Well, the production is entitled Crowns. It's by Regina Taylor. And it is the premiere inaugural production of the Hampton University Repertory Theater.
Okay.
Yeah,
I told you something new.
All right.
A repertory theater is a theater that is has professional participants. So everyone in the production is a professional: actor, singer, dancer, musician, choreographer, designer, etc.
The whole show.
Yes, the whole show. And I really dreamt of this for a long time. I wanted to bring that caliber to our students, because I thought they needed to see what a professional theater production would be like. And also to see people who look like them doing it.
Starring and leading the roles.
Exactly.
In the conversations.
Yes. And we have assembled some wonderful artists. Everything from our designer and technical director, Terenzo Blair. He started at Hampton playing Jimmy in Dreamgirls.
Wow.
Years ago. And then he flew. I mean, he just got wings and flew. He went to Atlanta, and he worked in Atlanta for a while with Tyler Perry. He went on tour with Tyler Perry, and he started building sets and working as a carpenter on the sets of Tyler Perry. And from there, he has gone on to be stage manage major acts. And so I asked him to take a little break and come back and help Mama.
It's good that you can call in those favors. It's good that you can call in those favors.
Yes.
I helped you walk.
I was amazed, because when the week after he got here and started building the set, he got a call from Beyonce's people to go on tour with her.
Oh, wow.
As one of the 8 carpenters that will be on tour with her. And so he said, now, Dr. Ward's Crowns and Beyonce. Dr. Ward's Crowns.
Right.
You know how much they charge for those tickets?
Right.
I
People were selling organs for those tickets.
No, it wasn't me, y'all. It wasn't me at all. Let me stop playing. But he did get an offer to come out because he had been thinking about that for a while. And so he was already obligated to another tour before he got the call from them. And he was able to squeeze Crowns in between the two tours.
Okay.
But he's just a wonderful designer, very creative. When you see the set, I hope you all will come this afternoon and see it.
I already have my ticket. I will be there, no problem. 3 o'clock, I'll be there. Beat me there.
Thank you, Dr. Williams.
Absolutely.
It's the set is amazing. It's amazing, and I've watched a lot of productions of Crowns, but you will never see a set like what Terenzo Blair has done.
I'm looking forward
it's just
to
wonderful, and he's a technical director, and he's designing it. We also have an amazing gospel singer that came here to do the show, and I know everybody is going to know who she is. You know, Crystal Rucker, and she is a wonderful voice and just a good person. Just a good person. You
Nice
know,
and warm.
Yes, yes. And when you see people who are talented and as gifted as she is, and to be nice to, you know,
Right.
it's a rarity. So I really love working with her. She's been just so special and very, very supportive of the production. We also had one of my other former students come here and lend a hand to Dr. Ward in her first production as an artistic director of the Repertory Theater. And his name is Chris Coleman.
You called in all the all-stars.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I called all those numbers in my
Yes.
Rolodex. I said,
Yes.
y'all not getting away from me that easily. Yeah. So Chris is a wonderful talent. It's so funny. I get after him about this all the time because I went to see Chris on Broadway in Jersey Boys. And my daughter and I went up to New York to see him on Jersey Boys. And if you recall any numbers from that play, you'll recall Oh, What a Night. And Oh, What a Night, there's a part in it that's a really, the actor hits this huge, high note. I mean, it's in the rafters. And so I'm sitting there in the audience and I'm like,
embodies all of that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a tenor for life. That's a tenor for life right there. And I said, wait a minute. He never sang like that for me. I stood up in the middle of the audience. Wait a minute, y'all. He never sang like that for me. He never sang that way for me. Yeah. I'm gonna get him anyway. But he's wonderful, and since such time, of course, he's gonna do lots of shows. Broadway. He's on Billions. He's done a lot, and he comes from a showbiz family.
Okay.
So he'll be doing this until he's 80.
And then he'll do another part. He'll be directing. He'll be writing.
Exactly. That's
All
what
right.
we want. But Chris is in the show, and he plays man. And when I say man, I go, man, how does he do it? Because he has he plays like 5 or 6 different roles. He has to sing, he has to dance. It's just incredible. And I knew he was a talent for it after seeing him in so many things and seeing how his talent has just grew so much. He was just hands down. It was no other choice. I said,
Oh
no.
my!
I'm gonna call Chris and see if he'll come down and spend a few weeks with us and do the man role in Crowns. And so, I mean, we just assembled some wonderful people, and Chris is here with us today.
Hey,
Yes,
everybody.
Welcome.
This has been in his even while we have been talking.
It's good, too.
I mean, let me tell you how he knows his role. I have never seen somebody be so quiet. You would not know. Chris was busy though. I am so excited to meet you, and I cannot wait for a few moments to see you.
Oh, it's going to
in
be
person.
amazing.
It's one thing to see somebody, hear about it, but it's another thing to really experience that. Are you hitting any high notes?
Not as high.
Because I want to know if you're singing for her,
We're gonna work on that in the future. We'll get some. It's just like it doesn't call for it just yet, but
but future endeavors, you shall sing for her that way. Okay,
exactly. I have to. I have to.
yay.
It's the look. She has this side eye that I still remember from
You recall that
Right.
years ago. I got a couple of them during rehearsal too. I was like, okay, got it.
This all-star cast, she's
Yes.
still like, look, I will still check y'all
Look,
if this is not right.
that's Dr. Ward.
Amen.
always
exciting.
be.
Well, welcome back to your home by the sea.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
It truly is truly a personal homecoming for me. Like coming back here, I feel actually like more gratitude coming here than I do actually going home to California.
Wait a minute.
I drove here from New York and like just coming on to like, it's called Harvey Way now, right? Harvey Way, and like seeing the school and seeing like everything. It just felt like everything was in Technicolor. Yes, and then it's like I walk into Armstrong and like everything is sort of the same. It smells the same. It looks the same. I walk into the theater and I was like, this is my house.
The nostalgia came back to
Yes,
you.
and Dr. Ward told me like, oh my God, what was that, like 5 years ago? You were like, it's time for you to come home. You haven't been here. And I'm like, I gotta get there when I'm gonna get there. Why? And you don't realize why until you actually get here. It's reinvigorating.
Can you thoroughly appreciate all that you've done now to see where you've started?
I'm so excited. And like, I'm so excited and like seeing it's almost like looking at yourself, in reverse, seeing the students walk around, seeing Jade, Dr. Ward's daughter, who's a grown woman now that played my daughter in every show that I did here. Right. And like now she's giving notes and is a professor and directing, teaching people how to act. And I'm like, I just sit there in awe, like with this ridiculous smile on my face, like,
I remember when.
Yes.
She was my daughter.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm excited for you. He hasn't stopped smiling since he started talking about getting back to your home by the sea. Sometimes you have to leave home to really, truly appreciate home.
Right.
Sometimes you got to get away.
And this is where the seed was planted for me by this woman right here.
I know that's right.
I was so it's like, I graduated in 98. Shout out Quintessence 3.
Go ahead. Tell your people to come to your show.
Yes, please.
Look,
you got a few hours to buy these tickets. It's at 3 p.m. in Armstrong Hall.
That's right.
Gonna take a trip down memory lane.
That's right.
I remember. So it was like 96, I think. I was in a choir. And I wanted to be a singer. I'd want to be in a boy band. So it's like my father's a musician. He used to be the conductor for the Temptations and Aretha Franklin.
Say so.
And was a songwriter for Barry White.
Say so.
So it's like
it's in your blood.
Yes.
All right.
Just music has always been around.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the best part of his story is that he started out. He graduated from Fisk University.
Okay.
And they moved to Florida when they had us, my parents, and he auditioned for Ike Turner. And became the piano player for the Ike and Tina Turner Revue.
Okay.
Oh my!
And that's what moved us to Los Angeles. So I was going to be a singer. I was going to be this like first. I was going to be in a boy band like New Edition.
No,
he didn't have to eat the cake. He was in the limo behind the cake. I was going to be in a boy band, and like I had one in high school, and like my parents were like, okay, yeah, do your thing. Yeah, don't do too good because you're going to college.
Right.
And
don't get comfortable.
Right. College came, and like we were just at the point of being signed. It's like, yeah, that's not happening. You're going to Hampton.
Okay.
And so I get to Hampton, and I was like, well, I still need to sing. So I actually joined the choir. And I'm in the choir. I was in His Chosen Sound. Shout out to His Chosen Sounds.
Rorzell Dillard.
Rorzell Dillard, yes.
Yes.
And
the maestro.
I auditioned for a solo. And Mr. Dillard yelled at me.
So Mr. Dillard,
right? And I was like, okay, whatever. And I left. I was like, well, you're not gonna have me in a solo. So I left, and I went to Dirt Busters to go wash my clothes. That was the laundromat that used to be in the Hampton Harbors. And my friend Darnell was like, I was so mad. I was like, he yelled at me, throwing my clothes in. And he was like, well, they're auditioning for a new musical. It's like a world premiere in a little theater. You should go to that. And I was like, I've never acted a day in my life. Like, no, I don't want to be a singer. And he's like, well, there's singing in it. Like,
right. You can
just
do it
go, right?
Just go.
You know, so I was,
Shout out to people who need that good friend in their life.
exactly.
Right.
You know, even put my clothes. He's like, I'll put your clothes in the dryer.
Oh, wait
go.
a minute.
Okay.
You know, so it's like I walk in not knowing, like, I was a business major. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing there. I don't know what to
You
do.
were a long way from the business card.
That's on the other side.
And walked in. Dr. Ward was there. Her stage manager Joe Mason was there. Mr. Otto was there, and I sang for them. And
Mr.
she,
Otto was there.
I'm sorry, Dr. Otto. Is that like
He might have been Mr. at the time.
Right, he was Mr. Otto. He's Dr. Otto now.
Yes.
And they cast me, and I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, so we get there to start the first production. I'm like nervous as all be. And, you know, Dr. Ward starts blocking the show, and I'll never forget this. You know, she gives me the blocking, and it's just basically like, go from here and go to there and say your line. And I was like, well, how do I say it? And she's like, well, how do you want to say it? It's like, I don't know. How do you want me to say it? And she's like, I want you to figure it out. Say it. I'll tell you if it's right. And if you need to go bigger or if you need to go smaller, go for it. It's your choice. And I was like, wait, you want me to be free? You giving me license to be creative?
To be myself?
Yeah.
What?
I've never heard of such a thing before. And then you couldn't get me out of the theater department. I actually tried to change my major to
I
theater.
know. I wouldn't let you. I wouldn't let
From business?
Yeah, I won't let them change their major if they have accumulated so many hours.
Absolutely.
I've had pharmacy majors beg me, call me, text me, wrote me letters, beg me. Now he's a manager at a pharmacy down in Atlanta, making six figures.
Okay.
Does he thank you now?
No, he still sings the songs that I wrote. He still sings. He calls me on my phone. He sings little songs that I wrote. And I'm like, you're the only person in the cast that remembers that song. And he's like, he's still holding on to it. But yeah, I won't let them change their major because I think that at that point, you can still be a part of that community. You can still go to graduate school. You can still take lessons. You can take classes. And if some point in time you want to go back and get a degree in it, you can. But I don't want you to regret all the time and energy and your parents' money that you spent doing one thing because you've fallen in love or you found your place. Because that's what happens.
You said you can be in more than one place.
Right.
And still get your mission accomplished.
Yeah.
So you can still graduate and still be a Hampton player.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can still,
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of an HBCU too, though, because you can do that, and you still have a teacher that guides you. You know, she never let me go, and I never let her go. You
better
know,
not.
when I got on Broadway, I was scared to death. I was like, fish out of water. I was like, I can't do this. Are these people crazy? They hired me to like be on Broadway, and I got to open the show.
Wow.
And hit the note.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that note. Okay, we'll talk that note. So I thought that note was going to get me fired.
Oh.
Yes, when I started the show, it's really high. It was actually out of my range, and when you do a Broadway show, you rehearse by yourself for 2 weeks. And then the day before you go on, you have what is called a put-in rehearsal, where the whole cast comes, and you're the only one that has to do all of your costume changes. It's full lights and automation and everything. And so it's literally like there's a spotlight on you. And then the next show, you just go. And I'm like, okay, all right, we can do this. This is fine, or whatever. I figured out, like, you know, it takes 2 weeks to build a habit, right? And so it was like I figured out a way to sing the note that sounded okay, was pleasing. I never got a note that it was bad. And then 2 weeks goes by, and then the music director comes up to me and he says, he's like, okay, great. So, you know, you're selling in, great. That's awesome. So can we hit that note full out? I said, what note? The oh, what a night note.
You know what
Right.
You know.
I said, okay. I go in the next day, and now I'm nervous again. And I go to hit this note, and I fall flat on my face. It sounded like... Did you ever watch the Flintstones?
Yes.
When they pull the bird as the horn?
Yes.
That's what it sounded like.
No, it's not.
And I was like... I was so embarrassed or whatever. So I went home and I started structuring it and building it. It's like the thing Dr. Ward said about studying. That's where that part, it's all aspects of it, including vocal aspects of it. It's like I started listening to people who sing high and how they're doing it, how they're holding their mouth, how they're holding their body, like what's happening. And it's like, and I only have a day to get this together.
It was a crash course.
Yes, because I cannot go in the next day and not do it.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, it's the show's going, it's building up, and I'm like, I'm getting nervous or whatever. Like, I don't know if it's going to happen, because it's like, you can do anything in the house, and then all of a sudden you're in front of like 1,000 people, and it's like, what's going to happen? And it eased out, it came out, and then it just swelled into this thing that is like, it almost like took over the microphone. And it's like, to the point of like people on stage with me, like, can I say a line from this show? Because there's a line in the show, it's called Crowns, and it's about, you know, the hats, you know, church hats and stuff like that. So there is a line of the show where they talk about how the hats like whip when they see something, or something's wrong, or something's right. Because I hit it right at that time, and everybody's head was like, whoa. With like, what? Like, how did that come out of you?
Because they heard did they hear the previous note?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so they saw where you came from.
Yes.
So they were like, oh, this is what,
yes.
Oh, this is what it's supposed to sound
And fixed in a day. That's Hampton. That's Hampton. That's my HBCU. Fixed in a day.
All right.
Get it right or be out by 5.
Exactly. Exactly.
We all know what that means.
That's Hampton.
We all know what that means. That's for sure.
It teaches you something, though. It teaches you about working hard, reaching a goal, and you may have had some of that negative talk, but at the end of the day, you had to push yourself through that.
Right.
Oh, we gonna do this.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna get it right.
And you research.
Yes.
I like just that word, letting people know it's not about what you think you should do, but you actually had to figure out what you had to do.
It's people don't realize that research is actually fun. I used to be one of those too, where it's like, oh God, I don't like to study or whatever. But then it's like, once you like commit to it and give yourself to it, you actually get lost in the research and start going on to other facets of it, which like teach you even more about whatever you're looking up.
And yourself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I can imagine you've learned a lot about yourself through the characters that you've played.
Yes.
And Dr. Ward said you're playing like 5 people
Yes.
in this character.
Yes. So
How do you keep your mind straight?
disorder.
You guys study psychology. You know about playing different characters.
I was wrong with that. I was like, 5 voices in your head.
Who's at the table with us right now?
Which one of you are we talking to?
it's important. It's important to know your limitations and know where you can go and how far you can go, because it's like, especially when playing characters that are enduring like hardship.
They're different too.
Yes.
Characters are different.
Yes.
So you may
Distinctly
have to
different.
look different, walk different, talk different. So you're embodying a whole lot.
Sometimes there's a cheat that you can do to walk different, though, if you ever need to. It's like take a little pebble and stick it in your shoe.
Okay.
Go ahead
It'll
and let the
completely
listeners know.
change the way you
That
walk.
would change it completely. If you put a pebble in my shoe, I'm not walking.
Right.
We can go now.
The moment is over.
Okay. Bring me a chair. I'm done.
It's so good how Chris plays a character that has to have an ensemble feeling with all the different women that are in the play with him, because all the women tell their stories by their hats, and he plays off of them, or they play off of him as they tell their story about their hats and what they've gone through in life. And some of them have gone through some just really wonderful things, and then some of them have gone through some not so wonderful things. And that's how they really get the main character, Yolanda, to understand that what's happened to her when she was living in Brooklyn with her mother is something, a part of life, and how we come through tragedy, we come through hurt, pain, by leaning on others and their what they've gone through. So I think that whole ensemble feeling is essential, and for him to be able to switch it on, switch it off, switch it on, switch it off, he has to understand not just those 5 characters, but he has to understand those other women's characters as well, in order to play his characters well. So I
am mad there's only one show left.
I know.
I need
we
to
wish
see
we could do more.
Yes, yes.
Well, we had a whole season though.
Yeah, we have a season coming up.
Made you rap.
For the repertory. Yeah, we're gonna rock Hampton Roads with the productions we have planned. It's gonna be something for everyone. Each year we're gonna have a different season. We're gonna invite people to come be our in our circles, depending on how much involvement they want in the repertory theater. We've gathered together an advisory council to help us really to navigate this new venture here in Hampton Roads. And some of the people who have just volunteering their time, some of them are alum, some of them are not alum, some of them we just met along the way and had an interest in, making this thing successful. So right now on the council, Chris is a member. Of course, I have to get some of the alums that I know understand the importance of the arts in the Hampton Roads and Hampton University in particular.
Well, I'll throw out the name Chloe Davis because when I met Chloe immediately when she found out, oh, you're at Hampton. Do you know Dr. Ward?
I love Chloe.
And all Chloe could do was talk about Dr. Ward, and that's truly the case.
Wonderful dancer.
Meeting people that find out I'm at HU, I'm an alum. You're working there? Do you know Dr. Ward? You are the first person. I must say, you're the first person. If they've had anything to do with theater, they ask about Dr. Ward. So that speaks to who you are as a person, and they know I love her.
We love her.
Yes. But that speaks to who you are and what I would always say the arts bring to a person's life. Not simply just to give people an opportunity, but it gives you a place that you can call home and come back to, no matter what. And,
like the band or something like that, something to be a part of that, also arts, also very healthy, also finding your people that can accept you and help you grow and encourage you to do something different. Try something different, and you found your love by trying something different. Knew you liked to sing.
Yes.
You did that. You knew you liked theater and the arts.
Sure did.
And you had to do it a different type of way. And I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
All these new projects. Can you tell us any other project that may be on the avenue so that our people, are you not supposed to tell us?
Well, I have one that I want you to go home tonight and tell Minnie about.
Oh, deal. We may not get all the way home before I tell her.
And we're going to finish the summer out this year with what I'm just excited about. We're bringing in a director from California, and he's directing Cinderella.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's every little girl should see or be in Cinderella. It's going to be a spectacular production, large production. Even before that, the midsummer, we're going to do a play called Streetcar Named Desire, which is very popular straight play as well. So we have a lot of things planned. Then we start gearing up for next year.
Well, can I throw in a request?
Okay.
Oh, my.
Sure.
My favorite play of all time is
What is it?
Raisin in the Sun.
Really?
Yes.
We almost did Raisin in the Sun, too.
We were talking about it.
Yeah, did we talk
We talked about it, yes.
Yes.
We almost did it.
That is my favorite play of all
Why do you
time.
like that, though, Dr. Mason?
Because it speaks of hope. And that was one of the first plays that I saw even as a kid. When I was young, saw that play, and just watching how the family went through the challenges and stuff like that or whatever, and never gave up their hope. And the thing that really that you remember about at the end of the play, Mama goes back to the wherever that plant was, and she grabs that plant when they leave.
Yes, she does.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I can't leave this behind. You know what I mean? And so that play was just it just did a lot for me. That was the first play that I saw, and every time I see it, I see something different over and over again.
That's what you said,
but it speaks to hope.
I'm glad you made a request because it's the repertory company is not just for Hampton University, but it is for Hampton Roads and really all of Virginia. You know, and so it's like
And
it is and beyond.
If you can get here.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, especially people in the area, if there's shows that you want to see and you want to see put on stage, you know, it's like get in contact and like there's a email on the website, hamptonurep.org. Is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like put in your suggestions and stuff like that, because it is it is for the masses. It's for us, you know.
Yeah.
But I would love to see that play.
We're gonna make that happen for you,
Yeah.
Dr. Mason.
Thank you.
You're gonna be front row to watch.
I'll be right there.
Yes, I will be right
Indeed,
there.
indeed.
Yeah.
I want to come see anything that you have going on. There's always room to share that, and especially for my students, I always invite them to come out so that they can see us doing other things. We can do so many things. You don't have to be one thing. You don't have to just like one thing, and they may have never known that this is something they really enjoy and like. I'm going to Broadway next month with some stores. We're taking a trip to New York, and absolutely.
What are you gonna see?
I don't know yet. Everything I can. Though.
Go see MJ.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. I got to come back. I might get up there now. I got to come back.
I have a whole list of things I want to see.
It's always something. It's all, and some things like even Lion King. That's certain things like you see multiple times, and it just.
The one
Color
other thing.
Purple, that one did it for me too.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to mention about having a repertory theater in your backyard. If you have people here, because there's so much talent that comes out of Virginia, that comes out of Hampton, comes out of Newport News, comes out of Virginia Beach, you know, that are on Broadway in Los Angeles doing film and TV, Atlanta, just like Dr. Ward said.
Sure.
You know, so it's like doing having a repertory theater, like being a non-union person that just has a passion for acting, or you know, wants to actually go into this as a career, this is where you start. There's also roles for non-union people to come in and be a part of it, and you get to not only build points towards joining the professional union to be a professional actor, but you also get to work with professional actors, professional directors, professional choreographers, and everything. And it's now right here in Hampton.
You learn so much that way. You know, it's hard to get a leg in, as they say, but if you can get connected with a repertory company and get your leg in, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to get points toward equity. You're just going to, it's a direct route, really, to professional theater.
You're going to be changing
Yes.
the arts in the area.
Yes.
The schools in Hampton that have that program specifically at Kickingham for the arts, them being able to come and visualize and see that, you're going to change the way that people see and view the arts.
Yes.
And get involved. You know, that's the piece.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's certainly an opportunity for collaboration and bringing in some of our Hampton City School students, to get them involved in the
learn,
show.
to stay
Exactly,
there.
to be around professionals that have that are on Broadway. You know, right now. And so that's an awesome opportunity.
And Dr. Ward has always, like, even coming up here, like some of the high school students that you would have come in and do some of the shows that we were doing in school, I run into them now.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're on soap operas. They're like, you know,
I'm
and
telling you.
got their start from Karen Turner Ward.
My daughter started. Alana Marie started on her stage. Next thing you know, she was in the YouTube series that Jade was doing.
Yeah, that's
from
right.
Midnight.
Yeah. She was. She's wonderful. She's
She's
wonderful.
so big now. She's taller than both of us.
Oh, really? Oh. That's what happens. They grow up. You know.
Too fast.
Too fast.
Too fast.
Yes.
I am just so thankful that you guys have just taken the time to come out and talk about the arts. Before we head out too, I want to know how things have changed a little bit for you guys, like prior to COVID to now. And so why is this so important now that we're seeing this?
Wow. So COVID, the arts suffered, suffered hard. There was like very little funding for the arts, and building it back has been rough, just in terms of like I think everything in the arts, within the Actors Equity Association, we have taken the rules of testing and COVID safety like very seriously at the detriment of our own productions. So it's like even
you can't get as many people in to see them. You're not selling as many seats.
Right.
And then even you're not hiring as many people because to be in the
to keep the room smaller, you know, and it's like Broadway has suffered, and it's like just like any depression, you get through it, and just like any depression, art thrives in a depression.
Indeed,
you know,
good art is created through some problems
because it has no choice but to be the best because people need something to be inspired by. And so we're on a good trajectory.
We're going
on.
Good things as a result of people
you will be moved,
COVID.
Touched, and inspired.
And you sit in that theater and you say, 3 years ago, just 3 years, this could never have happened.
Right.
Timing is everything. Purpose is everything.
Yes.
Makes you thankful.
Being able to have somebody who can call you back is everything.
Exactly.
Creating those connections is everything.
And it's sort of like reintroducing people to actually coming together and congregating inside of a theater.
Again,
they have to get over that kind of fear of it.
Because when somebody coughs, you know we all look.
We all jump, you know.
Just like that.
We still do. But I'm thankful that we're able to get back and assemble again because the commune of being with people is so important, you know, for your maturity and your sanity and everything else. So
psychologically, for sure, we have a need to belong. We need to be around people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited. The time is not moving fast enough for me to get to the stage. I'm gonna be there just let me in. Just let me in. Are there assigned seats?
Escort you right to your seat.
Thank you so much.
Any seat in the house, you
We do a special shout out just for you.
Amen.
Can we bring her up on stage?
Hey, say less. I'm coming. What are you talking about? I cannot wait, and I can't wait to see what else you produce, and moreover, how this manifests in other people's lives, and how you'll be able to see, you know, other people, like you said, grow and just grow in the arts and really find themselves. Because I think a lot of people could use that as a way to figure out who they are and who they're not, all at the same time.
Well, I would say as people are wrapping up your Sunday brunch, you know, come on out, grab a ticket and enjoy the show, you know. And then, of course, continue to watch and see what's on the horizon. You know, we definitely have to support the arts, provide the resource, provide the funding, because
the talent.
Exactly. You just never know where this could actually lead anyone in the community, and the inspiration. I mean, hearing all of, you know, Dr. Ward, you know, and everything that she has done.
And we have not even
for people.
Touched it.
Exactly. But, you know, there's so many things that can be done in the area of the arts. And so we're excited. We are truly excited about what's on the horizon right here in the city of Hampton at Hampton University. And we know that it's going to spill right on over into the community.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
The first of many projects. Congratulations on this new project, this advancement. You had a dream. And it's now a reality. And so that is going to be amazing just to see that. We're so happy that you're hanging in there with us. And you're continuing to produce stellar work. Because anybody can do some work, but you're doing good work. Great work.
Thank you for your support, you guys.
Yes, and for bringing back people and reminding them why they need to still support Hampton. So welcome back. I'm so glad you're on the board. I can't wait to see what else you produce. And when you get one of them notes, let me know, because I'm coming to hear it.
I will.
I'm coming to hear it for sure.
Well, thank you all for being at the table with us. It has truly been a pleasure. I am Dr. Richard Mason.
I'm Dr. Tamara Williams.
And thank you for being here with us right here on Smooth 88.1.
WHOV, the essence of HU.
Keep you forward.
Someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. I think they are things. I think they get on the walls. They get in your wallpaper. They get in your rugs. in your upholstery, in your clothes, and finally into you.
Thank you for joining us at the table.
Tune in next Sunday at 1 p.m. for more delicious topical recipes for life on the Sunday Brunch.
On Smooth 88.1 WHOV.